turn them around, have the rings this orientation, and then bring here, neck long, squeezing glutes, core, exhaling. There you go. All right, it's time to learn how to do a really, really great ring row. The first thing we want to make sure we do is we want to set up the rings to the correct height. It's not exact where they need to be in space, but they want to be right, maybe above your hips, right around here, okay? And they want to be shoulder width apart. So don't put them too close together or too far apart. Have the straps of the rings right in line with your shoulders. You could also use a TRX if you happen to have one of those. Now, where should my feet be for a ring row? Initially, maybe have your feet just a couple of feet in front of where the rings are resting. So if the rings are here, my feet will be right around here just to start, and we will move them. Okay, good. Now, when I go back into a ring row, did you notice how I bent my knees? I very safely let all of my weight come back. Now, you can keep your knees bent if you want to, or you can straighten your legs. It's going to be more challenging to straighten your legs. This is typically how I do mine, but it's perfectly fine to do this as long as you don't sag. So keep that plank body, keep squeezing your glutes, keep shining your hips forward, and you are perfectly fine. Now, you could have your toes pointed up, and typically I do. So if my legs are long, I do point my toes up. Is it okay to have your feet flat on the ground? Absolutely. You can do it that way as well. Good. The next thing you want to consider, should I have my feet together or should I have them separated? So just like the ring straps in line with your shoulders, if you are going to have your feet separated, you're going to have them separated about hip width apart. If you want them together, that's totally fine. Both are okay. And in fact, I'd like you to try both of them and see which one you'd like to do. For me, I'm going to have my feet slightly separated. I'm going to increase my base. I'm going to feel more stable and more balanced. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the rings with our hands and we're going to let our bodies come backwards. Bend your knees and fall back gently, slowly, safely. Good, until your arms are fully extended. Next, we're going to step our feet out so that the legs are fully extended. And if our butt was down, we're going to bring it back up into what position? Plank. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a super strong plank body. Your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. You've got a full grip on the rings. P.S. You also have your thumb wrapped around in the other direction. Okay? From here, we're going to slightly tuck our chin. We're going to have a soft gaze up at the ceiling. And when we go, we're going to squeeze every muscle in our body and we're going to pull to the outsides of our chest. Then we're going to extend back down to our starting position. And now we're going to sync up the breathing. Here we go. Exhale. Squeeze your glutes a lot. And back down. Keep everything nice and taut. T-A-U-T, taut. Exhale. And extend. Exhale. And extend. Make sure that when you pull, you really pull all the way to your chest and to the outsides. Make sure those elbows don't flare out and they stay close and tight to the sides of your body. Oh yeah, I'm already shaking. And then extend back down. Beautiful. One more. Exhale. Squeeze the glutes. And then come on up. And that is a high quality ring row. Okay, let's talk about some common mistakes and corrections with the ring rows. The first thing I want to talk about is, not pulling the rings in close enough to the sides of the body. A lot of people stop short. So imagine coming to about here. I really want you to just pull that extra bit. Let me show you. So a lot of times I will see this. And I'm exaggerating it, but kind of not. And then they'll think, okay, well, maybe that's it. No. The reason why I created this course is because I want you to go all the way. So that means coming to literally the outsides of your chest. You can't go any further. You're squeezing the back muscles, the glutes, the shoulder blades, all of it. And can you see me shaking? Because I am. And then fully extend. Awesome. If you do that one correction, we're winning. Another thing that I see is people not syncing up the breathing. Now, this move can get very, very taxing when we progress it and make it harder and harder and harder. So you've got to learn good breathing right off the bat. What does that look like? Do you remember from the previous modules when you're supposed to exhale? If you said that you should be exhaling at the most difficult point in the movement when you're executing that movement, then you're correct. And I'll show you what that looks like. So not here, not hard to do that, but it is hard to do this. So guess what? Exhale. Inhale. Good. One more. Fantastic. Now, if you remember everything from the plank module, then you're going to do really, really well with the ring rows, because some people will break their posture. Let me show you what that looks like. If we're not in a plank, we might be slumping down. I have seen this a lot. I've seen people get really, really tired in their core. And what you've got to do is you've got to firm up those glutes and simultaneously bring your hips up, shine your hips up, then do your ring row. Because if I do the opposite and I'm here, I'm working the upper body, but I'm not getting that core engagement, which is exactly what we're looking for. This is a wonderful movement for the core and honestly the full body, because remember, another theme that we've got going on is engaging every single muscle from the top of your head all throughout to the toes. So everything should be taut and engaged. Good. So we got core engagement, we got breathing, we got pulling deep enough. What else? Ooh, gaze. Okay, so when I first started ring rows, I accidentally hurt my neck a little bit. This was 10 years ago, and it was because nobody ever taught me this, but I'm going to teach you. But what I did was I looked up. And man, after you did a certain number of ring rows, the neck started to hurt a lot, and I just remember it being so sore. What I want you to do is I want you to tuck the chin ever so slightly so that it feels, number one, like it's better in line with your spine. It just feels better overall. And then from here, I want you to pull up so that we're not finishing here, we're finishing right here. Good. The other thing that goes along with that is sometimes people pull their shoulders up. They shrug their shoulders up and then they pull with their ring rows. What I want you to do is I want you to think about that long plank body, bring the shoulders back down, keep them down, and pull with your core and your lats. Pull with that area. Don't even think about your shoulders. Your shoulders are just coming along for the ride. Will they get a workout? Yes, but I want you to focus on lats and core. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to show you what it looks like wrong and then the correction. So wrong is shoulders are hiked up, I'm pulling in. The whole thing just hurts. Even just executing it, it doesn't feel right. So I want you to think, pull lower, keep the elbows here, and then go. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale. If you squeeze the glutes, and if you pull these rings lower on the chest, even to the rib cage, then you're going to do much, much better. Okay, the last thing I want to share with you is where you should be feeling this movement in the body. So it's not necessarily a mistake to have your elbows out and then do your ring rows nice and wide, but you are sure going to feel it a lot more in those shoulders as opposed to the sides of your body and core. I want you to really use your lats a lot. Your lats are here, and then core, of course, is here. The way that you can activate your lats is you can take your hand, you can put it on your lat, you take your other arm and you squeeze it down, you clamp it down, and you resist it. When you do that and you brace hard, a muscle will start to engage there. That's your lat, also known as your wings. A lot of people are like, hey, Kat, I don't feel my lats at all. Practice that. Practice squeezing the arms in close to the body. That's why I'm going to have you do your ring rows like this. So If you find that your elbows are flaring out, it's not bad, but watch your shoulders burn out real quick, okay? Your neck might hurt extra too. Turn them around, have the rings this orientation, and then bring here. Neck long, squeezing glutes, core, exhaling. There you go. Think about your lats. Squeeze them. If you don't feel your lats, at least think about them. Think about where they anatomically are on your body, and I promise you, one day, if you do enough of these, you will feel them. Good job. All right, let's talk about how to progress your ring row. Let's say you've got some, and now you're wondering, how do I make this harder? Well, first of all, your foot placement matters a great deal. So when we started off doing our ring rows, we were about here, right? Now, if I want to make them easier, I simply take a step back and then I do my row. If I want to make them easier still, I take a step back and then I do my row. Because I'm more upright, I don't have as far to go. It's much easier. You could technically be right here and do a ring row, and that's fabulous. Whatever you need to start, there's no judgment at all. Now, if I want to make it harder, the opposite is true. I take a step forward. I do my ring row. Now, is there a limit to how far I can go? No, there's not. Eventually, I will get my body parallel to the ground, and I'm about to show you what that looks like. Another variation you can do is the speed. All right, so let's say we're doing a standard ring row. This is challenging in itself, being at this position right here. What I want to do is I want to focus on going really fast and hard on the up, and then slow or regular pace on the down. So it's going to look like this. Fast, slow. Fast, slow. Power, recover. Power, and recover. Good. So when you start getting tired, you can focus on that. Instead of going slow, slow, slow on the up and slow on the down, you can add that variation and you can get more ring rows that way. If you go slower in general, a movement typically is going to be a lot harder, especially something like this. Let me show you what that looks like. If I go slow, look at that time under tension. Oh man, my muscles are getting fatigued already. And then I go slow, slow, slow. That's way harder than this. They're both very effective. They're very different. When you go really, really slow, the muscles are under tension that entire time. They're working that entire time. So play with it. I like to personally do a mix of both. Excellent. One way to make your ring row a lot harder is to keep stepping forward with your feet and then pull. Let me show you. So we were further back, right? Now we're going to bring the feet more forward, all the way to here. Full extension. Same rules apply with the ring row. And then pull. Wow. Take another step forward. Make it even harder. Remember when I told you that you could go fast on the up and then slow on the down? This is where you might want to do that. And then you can go right underneath the rings. Wow. Here we go. Let's go for it. Oh, Lord have mercy. So if you do enough of those, you'll get the workout of a lifetime. But take your time and progress. Keep stepping your feet forward until you can get it, and you can get several reps, and then eventually you'll end up parallel to the ground. Fantastic.